All right, I'm gonna do a video. We're gonna just, I guess the theme of this really bad video is gonna be striping. And I'm looking at some snakes, just clutches that have hatched and whatever. So we're looking at snakes right here that, clearly haven't even had their first shed. So their colors are inhibited by this, shed that's going on. But at least gives you an idea. So let's say this snake right here. So we're looking at like Pastel, GHI, pin, yellow belly type stuff. Actually, you know what? This thing just hatched and I haven't even really taken it all in. There's another one from a different clutch. But what's really nice about, let's say, GHI in this case, if you take GHI and Mojave, you get a nice looking snake. But when you start adding yellow belly or pinstripe, you start getting these much cleaner, more defined animals. And I think it is, it's all still about contrast. This snake right here happens to be an odium combo, and this animal, you can see they're pink and green. This snake is fantastic looking if it's not shedding. But that snake, with being said, it's odium. It's likely a hidden gene woma, Mojave, Enchi, odium, spot nose. So spot nose kind of gets things moving. So when you start having animals like this by combining GHI and Mojave with pinstripe or yellow belly, you start having epistatic relationships. So you start getting these animals that really start just jumping ship and start making different looks. We can have simple striping. This is like a coral glow barbed wire spider. So we have basically a black-backed spider with coral glow. So that's a 3-gene animal with this kind of striping. But then you can have dorsal striping where it's not the barbed wire back, it's actually the gold stripe down the back. So you can see a little bit of variation. This animal's actually, I don't really hatch many of them, but this one's sharked. We call this shark jaw, and sometimes I see this in the super stripe gene. So it's not a really good thing, but it's nothing that I'm certainly proud of. Very rarely do I hatch it, but every year when you start hatching a lot of clutches, sometimes you hatch these, and sometimes it could be genetic, or sometimes it could just be due to the condition of the eggs and whatever. Here's one other good animal. This one's still kind of striping. This is hidden gene woma, Enchi, spot nose, odium, but you get some really weird looks. All right, let's jump ship here. How about a butter genetic stripe? So genetic stripes are just, wow, what a such an awesome gene by itself. I mean, to me that's a very dramatic looking animal. And then if we add the butter or less or anything like that, it lightens it up. Certainly, if we did the same thing with a pastel, it would lighten it up too. And here's back to genetic stripe. So if we start doing, there's all sorts of different ones in here. Here we go. Here's like a pastel genetic stripe. As I said, everything is shedding, so I guess we're just gonna kind of bear with it and use your imagination a little bit and try to appreciate what the animal's gonna look like. Okay, so we got that. Let's just let's step it up. Now we start looking at, let's say, pastel genetic stripes with coral glow added. Yeah, it's really nice. And then add butter. That's really nice. I think, now we really start looking at the idea of a snake as like we really kind of like anticipate and fantasize about. We're just like, wow, that's so awesome. This is like literally, this lavender is like, it's like a blue purple and it's electric. So if my camera can capture this, it really is an awesome looking snake. Now both these snakes have shed, so you start seeing, and the difference between these two is just pastel. But wow, that's pretty awesome. Let me see. These stripes, so a little bit of contrast. Coral gene is obviously critical. There's another genetic stripe, coral glow. I just keep on reiterating the obvious. Pastel genetic stripe. So striping is something any ball python fancier is going to basically move towards. You know, we all want to make snakes that have some kind of striping and stuff like that. So that's something that we like. And if we start going into striping, we can replace all that with super stripes. Super stripes are the epistatic relationship of yellow belly with specter. And so epistatic basically essentially means we take two base genes and when we combine them together, we get something more exciting than we anticipated. So you kind of get like a dramatic effect. So these are all, so we have pastel, enchi, super stripe, pastel, super stripe, pastel, super stripe. So we have the epistatic yellow belly specter relationship to make this crazy looking snake. And then we layer on just simple base genes like pastel or enchi. And it really can make for some really nice looking snakes. And even nicer looking if they had shed. So then we start adding like pinstripe. All right, we'll stick with that. Some Crotalis painkiller cover. All right, so that's really pretty. If they shed, you really get a better idea. So what happens if we take and replace all that with that. Get you two out of there. You don't know what it does. So we're having all sorts of different variations of that striping from the super stripe. So you get nice looking super stripes. Well, there's another one called Puma. And Puma is the epistatic relationship between yellow belly and something called the spark. And then if you start mixing things like enchi, you can see the enchi because it's got the head pinch. But we have potentially, in some of these, babies, we have hidden gene woma. So here would be hidden gene woma, enchi, and this one could be like a specter crossed with a spark. So it wants to be, whatever a specter spark would be, kind of like a puma, kind of like a super stripe. And then we got ones that look more like puma. But you get an idea, just what can be done. So how about if we did super stripe, pin, enchi, hidden gene woma. So this is all like Orion type stuff. That's kind of pretty, all that. All right, so I'll keep this video short, but striping is like a big deal, and it's even more exciting because we can start taking this foundation, let's say of the super stripe or the puma or the highway or whatever, and we start layering on some of our base gene components, and as you really start adding more to it, we really start enhancing the look of the animal. And it's all about changing the look of the animal, so the next time a clutch is hatching, you're really excited to see what's coming. So that's what it's all about. Just keep up the surprises. But look at the contrast of that. So in our collection, we want it all. It's kind of like Pokemon cards. Yeah, that's some ridiculous stuff. Just, I'd never be able to imagine this years ago. And sometimes you have to put all the snakes together just to kind of appreciate how far we've come. And you know, this game was really, ball pythons were nothing in 1995. I mean, literally nothing. And where they are now, it's pretty much the foundation of captive herpetoculture as far as pythons. And easily the most popular pet snake in the world. Okay. Here's the end of video, I think this is 6. Say goodbye and love your designer pythons. Yep, that's me singing.